Boston drops its face mask mandate today for most indoor spaces.
Here to answer your questions is Dr. Vandana Madhavan, Clinical Director of Pediatric Infectious Disease at Mass General Hospital for Children. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is a big change for a lot of families, especially ones with children younger than 5 who can't get vaccinated against COVID-19 yet. Do you think it's still safe for them to enter stores or restaurants without a mask on?
Great question. Yes, a lot of changes physically and psychologically for families. I've been talking a lot about how families might have their own mask mandates, even if communities, schools don't have them, because we have to think about who can't get vaccinated because of age or, other medical reasons, who might still be vulnerable at home, who might not have as good a response to the vaccine. And remembering that these new community levels that the CDC released last week take into account not just community transmission, but also the impact of COVID, how many patients are hospitalized, what percentage of beds are occupied by COVID-19 patients, but also that the rate of community transmission that's now considered low is still a lot higher than what had been considered low before. And that's why so many areas in the country rapidly changed from like red, orange to green. So while Eastern Massachusetts right now is all green, including Suffolk County, which includes Boston, which had been in the medium level last week. It's now green again. Remembering that doesn't mean that there's no transmission, that there is still some transmission, and it's more than what had been considered low in the past. And so, a quick trip into a grocery store is very different than a 3-hour dinner in a crowded restaurant, unmasked. And so it's really important to think about a family's individual circumstances, talk with your family's physicians if you're really thinking about what is the true risk for family members in a household before thinking about ditching that mask, and really empowering, your children to say, what, for us, a mask is still important, just like everyone has different rules about, bedtimes and, behavior, et cetera. Mask wearing might be continuing for some families.
Yeah, it's important. You got to think it through for your own family. And how
Absolutely.
much longer do you think parents will have to wait before there's a vaccine authorized for their babies and toddlers?
Great question. I think we'll start seeing some more data about the third dose in this series next month. As you know, children down to 6 months have been included in vaccine studies since the early days of the Pfizer trial. But with the youngest kids who received a 1/10 dose of the adult dose, the 6 months to under 2 years had a good response. The 2 to 4 years didn't. And so that's why we're looking at not just, okay, is some better than none after 2 doses, but really looking at where we'll be after 3 doses to make absolutely sure that we're giving a fully effective vaccine series. So I'm hopeful that next month we'll have some more data that the FDA will be able to review and then give to the CDC to provide final recommendations.
Another point here, the CDC now estimates nearly 60% of American children under 18 years old have been infected. Does that number seem high to you, or do you think it is accurate?
I think it's accurate, given that, especially in the early days of the pandemic, testing was really focused on adults, those at higher risk of needing to be hospitalized, and was sort of assumed that families would be, that other family members, would be infected. And remembering that in recent weeks, in the past couple months with Omicron, which has been so much more highly transmissible, even though it's caused minor illness, Omicron has, surged during winter vacation, when people were a little bit less lax, were traveling more in contact with each other. And so it allowed for many more children to become infected. And also it's important to remember that the study, the data that the CDC released was looking at just antibody levels, but not how much. It was either positive or negative, saying that, yes, someone had had COVID in the past, but doesn't look at whether those antibodies are protective enough to protect against infection.
Okay, Dr. Madhavan, Clinical Director of Pediatric Infectious Disease at Mass General Hospital for Children. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Have a good weekend.
You're welcome. Thank you.